Good morning, everyone. My name is MightyStream. I'm going to do your November the 25th spiritual principle a day in a meditation. How are you? Hope you're doing well. Okay. Oh, wow. All right. The title of this meditation, Practicing Forgiveness, Foregoing Resentment. Forgiveness is an action and a decision. We need a lot of forgiveness, and we also get to provide it. This is going to be good. Living Clean, Chapter 7, Love. Working the 12 steps of NA teaches us to make decisions for ourselves and take deliberate actions in our lives. We no longer allow circumstances and our disease to dictate our every move. We choose to practice forgiveness and try not to worry too much about when and if our loved ones forgive us. We'd been pretty rotten at times, after all. We focus on matters that are in our control and do the work necessary to forgive ourselves and others. NA service provides plenty of opportunities to apply this spiritual principle. As we serve alongside fellow members, it's almost inevitable that we'll bump heads from time to time. For the most part, we manage to set aside our disagreements, uniting to support the addict who still suffered. Let me repeat that. For the most part, we manage to set aside our disagreements, uniting to support the addict who still suffers. But practicing unity does not neutralize the need for forgiveness. Despite acting in unity, I was still holding a grudge, a member shared. It occurred to me that service might be more pleasant if I would forgive some of those I served with. Many of us have taken a turn standing on the NA soapbox in defense of what we believed was best for the fellowship. We can forgive others for being irritatingly passionate because we've been that too. Instead of keeping a record of each other's worst moments, we can make a decision to focus on the good work they're doing. We adjust our perspectives to take the bigger picture into account. None of us is all good or all bad. By practicing forgiveness, we allow ourselves and others to be human. Sure, we make mistakes, but our worst moments don't need to define us. By practicing forgiveness, we can shift our focus and appreciate the strengths each of us brings to the table. I choose to practice forgiveness today. I'll revisit some old resentments, take positive action on any unresolved issue, and let go of any lingering bitterness. I will accept people as they are now. Let's take a moment of silence, followed by the wee version of serenity prayer, please. Moment of silence now. Thank you. God, grant us the serenity to accept the things that we cannot change, the courage to change the things that we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Just for today, please and thank you. How powerful is that? Practicing forgiveness, foregoing resentments. I'm sure all of us can think of tons of things other people in the fellowship have done. And we still, even when we see them sometimes, kind of cringe. And if their name comes up, we're probably one of the first people to say, I remember when he did such and such. Or do you remember when she did such and such? Some of those people we do service with, we're on some of the same committees with. We might even be in the same network of sponsorship with. They might be our sponsee sister. God forbid that they might even be our sponsor. We're human. We don't nail it every time. We don't get it right all the time. And unfortunately, we can amass, right? We can count mountain hills of all of the errors that have been done by people in the fellowship. And we are quick to forget our own errors, our own messes that we made. Maybe we're not. Maybe we hold ourselves to the same standard of perfection that we're holding other people. And not only are we angry with them, but we are also angry with ourselves or resentful towards ourselves. You know, a smile costs me nothing. And I am a person that is very well known for smiling. Forgiveness, though. Now, that is another topic. It doesn't always come so easily. And sometimes I think I have done it. And whew, seems like the next time I see the person or the topic even comes up, I can rattle off every single thing that was said by them, how it went down. Oh, man. That reminds me of this time I was in a meeting celebrating clean time. And some people showed up that I hadn't seen in a long time. But they really loved me. They really, really loved me. And they showed up for this clean time recognition evening at a meeting. And I really, I was excited about having my clean time, obviously. But I don't know how to put it. Just mentally, I was somewhere else, and I was really just thinking about my boys and my husband and getting back to them. I really wasn't interested in celebrating it on that level at a meeting, but I was there, and I think I dressed up, and some old timers came through. About 6 or 7 old timers came through, and each one of them during their share, they took time to reminisce about some time that I had been there for them. And it was touching, but I also felt like it had exposed me on a little level, right? Because there were other people that really were just getting to know me, and I was a little bit uncomfortable because my good deeds were being made known, right? But this one lady went to share, and I should have known, that she was about to dig up some stuff that I had done at a meeting. And I mean, she went through the whole scenario of what I did. And I was crushed. First of all, I do remember that she was high at a lot of meetings. So my mind said, how in the world would she even remember that? I thought she was so high. But the ruckus I had caused in that meeting was something to it. I still, after well over 2 decades, had not been able to live down. 2 whole decades later, clean, I had not been able to live that down. And maybe, I want to say maybe more, because this happened a few years ago. So I had at least 20 years, and it had taken place probably in my first 5 years. So 15 whole years later, and it was just as fresh to her as if it had been yesterday. And my self-centeredness was my own self-centeredness was just hurt. Here these people come sharing. I hadn't seen them in so long. They come sharing all the good stuff. But one person remembered something that was really a big ruckus. I'm sorry, but somebody has said something, and before I knew it, I had gone into a Chuck Norris kick, and I took this man's whole hat off of his head. And I knew instantly that if he wanted to retaliate or call the police, he could have, and he did not. And he was just as stunned as I was, and he was just as stunned as anybody else in the room. And she recounted it. And I sat there and I said, it sounds like I really impacted her. My behavior impacted a lot of people. And this is why I'm in recovery. I am working on a living amends to the program of Narcotics Anonymous and working to every day set a tone of recovery, the atmosphere of recovery at every meeting I make. Right? So sometimes while we're finger pointing, people are also finger pointing at us. And sometimes they also need to work on forgiveness. And we want that forgiveness. But the question is today, am I practicing forgiveness? Am I extending forgiveness and foregoing resentment? That's a deep question because I did not realize that she even remembered. No, I knew she probably was present because a lot of people were. I think maybe 50 people in that meeting. A lot of people were. But she remembered. And initially I was like, can't believe she told that story. But right after that, a short time after that, my mind said, you're still in need of forgiveness by her and others. And this is going to be a work in progress. You are always going to be going up against your past behaviors. And because I have been in Narcotics Anonymous half of my life, more than half of my life, that's a lot of things, a lot of mistakes, a lot of errors to work on being a living amends, right? I hope you've enjoyed that story. I think it's kind of interesting. It still saddens me, so I'm not really laughing or anything about it. It still saddens me to think about that, but it makes for an interesting story nonetheless, right? Today, let's practice forgiveness. Today, revisit some of your old resentments. We'll all revisit them and take positive action on any unresolved issues and let go of any lingering bitterness. Accept people for who they are now, not who they were, but who they are today. My name is MightyStream. I've enjoyed talking to you. I hope that you have a beautiful day on purpose.